Good afternoon, everyone. So last, we have done the two sessions with the Sling model, right? So in the Sling model, we covered like what is Sling model and how many ways you can adapt the Sling model. What is Sling model and how many ways you can adapt the Sling model. How many ways we can adapt the Sling model. We can adapt the Sling model. Okay, and next we're done with Sling model annotations. Sling model annotations. The Sling model annotations are like at the rate model. We're done with at the rate model. Okay, at the rate model, and we're done with at the rate value map value. Okay, and at the rate inject, and we're done with at the rate named, and we're done with at the rate self annotation, and we're done with at the rate default, and we're done with at the rate default, and we're done with at the rate required annotation, and we're done with OEJ service, OEJ service, OEJ service. Okay, and here we have the we're done with injection strategy also, default injection strategy also. This is the step number one and two, and here we're done with default injection strategy. So that is also very important in the interview perspective. So regular question is default injection strategy. Default injection strategy. This is like you guys clear with this one default injection strategy. Like if anyone they will ask like what does it mean by default injection strategy? So how what is your answer? This is the fourth one. Are you guys clear with my point? Default injection strategy we have in the Sling model, right? If anyone will ask like, can you please explain what is default injection strategy? Then what is your answer? So there at the time of writing the code, we are mentioning optional, right? So that is, I need to mention optional is the mandatory or not? Should I mention optional? So did you try that without giving that default injection strategy? Hmm? Hmm? Did you try it or not? So these are the annotations. Okay. Now today we'll discuss one more annotation, that is the post construct annotation. Post construct annotation. So this is also very important. So in the real time, like in the interview perspective also, they will ask the questions on this post construct annotation. What is the post construct annotation? Could you please explain about the post construct annotation? Okay, so today we'll see what does it mean by post construct annotation, and how we will use the post construct annotation in the real time scenarios in the AAM. We will see. Okay, so generally for this purpose, so in the previous sessions we did the program by using the Apple component, right? So today we will take any other component. So actually I will open my AEM local start.html, and I will go to CRXT. So this is the components, right? If I go with, so last session we did the program sound by using the Apple component, right? So today I will use global component. So this global component normally, however you are created the components in previously, the same similarly you can create the component. I would say we can take the node and you can give the naming convention for the name, that is the global, or in your case you can give any name. Okay, and then next node name and file name should be the same, and extension should be the .html. Okay, and then inside the CQ dialog you can take, in my case what I did take, CQ colon dialog, content items and column and text and path, two fields I have taken. One is the text, second one is the path. Okay, so in your case also you can design the dialog like this. So already you know how to create the dialog from scratch. Okay, so like this you can create. So I hope this is clear. Like if I create the component, the same, the process already you know. If I create the component, the same component one more time, it will be time taken. So time also wasted, right? So instead of creating, so already I have created the component. So in your case also you can create the component. Okay. Okay. Then the component is available here. Then you can go to your code base. Then if the component is created in the CRXT, you can pull the component from your AM server to your local, right? There we have the one plugin. So if you go to the components, right click on the components, you will get the option that is the import option. So simply what I will do, can go with UI apps. This is the UI apps, and we have the component option. Right click on the component option. Can import. The components got successfully imported, right? Come down. Somewhere you can find out alphabetical order. You can follow the alphabetical order. Global component, right? Global component. Okay, fine. Now, what my requirement is, I have created the component. Component name is the global. Now I should create one file. The file. So generally, the backend files are available in models package, right? So you can go to the model. Okay, so I can take Java file, new Java file. You can take the class, and I am giving the class name is the some global article, like that I am giving global article, global model, anything. In your case, you can give the class name is anything. My case, I am giving global article is the class name. Okay, fine. And this is the normal Java class, right? So how could I convert this normal Java class into the model? At the rate annotation. We can mention with at the rate annotation, and we can adapt the package which is belonging to Sling only. Okay, you can double click on it, and then now we need to adapt. Generally, Sling models we can adapt in two ways, right? One is the resource start class, second one is the Sling HTTP servlet request start class. Okay, now I will take adaptables equal to resource dot class. Already you know the difference when you will go with a resource dot class and when you will go with a string HTTP servlet request dot class. Okay, in my case, whenever you are looking for the resource, so the ID will give the lot of suggestions actually. Among those suggestions, you can pick with Sling API resource dot resource. Okay, you can pick this one. You can pick that one only instead of pick anything. So your Sling model won't work actually. Okay, you have to import statements also mandatory. You have to import specified packages only. Okay, resource dot class is okay, and then next one is the default injection strategy. Default injection strategy. Here I can mention default injection strategy as the optional. Default injection strategy as the optional. Okay. Now there we have the two fields, right? One is belonging to text, second one is belonging to path. Okay, if I take like when author the data will be stored in the content node, and simply can go with the content node. However, the naming conventions are available. The same way you can take the properties names also. Same way here you can take the variable names also. Variable names also. Okay, so that process already you know. Okay, so today we are discussing about the post constructor, not taking the data and reading the data, not displaying the content. That sessions already completed. So today we are discussing about the post constructor. Okay, today we are discussing post constructor. For example, generally, if you want to inject any value, how will you inject? You can take the value map value. and then inside this one you can mention with private, and if it is belonging to string then you can mention string, and then the variable name you can go with the content next demo, and the us en jcr content root container next global, click on the global, you will get the properties, and then you have the properties path, and the it is not coming because we not author that, we have not author, right? So you can author, then you can get the content. Go to the sites, your page, open en page, open dialog of the specific component, open the dialog of that specific component, you can open the dialog, and you can author any author you can give. Okay, you can give the any content, and then click on, then this content will be stored in the content node, right? Now you can reload the page, go down. Now if you see here, second text, okay, this name and the variable name should be the same, so we have to follow the case sensitive, everything here it is the case sensitive. This is clear. So here what will happen in generally the process, so I will use the ms pen, so through that I can explain, you will get the better understanding. I can take the ms pen, and then through that I can explain. So what will happen internal process, you guys observe what I am doing. I am taking the class name is uh, public, my class name is global article, right? My class name is global article. Okay, and from here to here, this is the scope of class. Okay, from here to here, this is the scope of the class. Okay, this is okay, and this is a normal Java class. We need to annotate this normal Java class into the model. Okay, we can annotate with @model, and inside the @model, we can mention adaptables. So generally, you can adapt in two ways, right? Adaptables equal to resource dot class. So generally, resource dot class, what will happen in generally, I will tell you. For example, we have the component, and component have the some dialog. Okay, when you configure the dialog, you can open some dialog, right? You can open this dialog. When you, I can say, if you author the dialog, this is the dialog. You can assume this is the CQ dialog, and you are the author. You author the dialog. If you author the dialog, the data will be stored by default in content node actually. Okay, so that I can mention with some another color. So the data will be stored in the content node, right? Where I can mention content, and so here the data will be stored in the format of node and its properties. Are you guys clear with my point? You can open that component. There you can get the dialog configuration option. So click on the dialog, and then if you give some text on the dialog, the text will be stored in the content node by default. This is the Sling framework by default property. Okay, it will be stored here. Now actual whatever requirement is, this will be stored in the CRST. CRST meaning everything it will be treated as the node, right? If you want to inject the node data into the Sling model, this is the node data. If you want to inject the node data, then you should mention resource dot class. Resource dot class. Are you guys clear with my point? Okay, you can mention resource dot class. That is okay, fine. And then default injection strategy you can mention, and then you can write, right? This is as of now is clear, right? Now the dialog has the two fields. One is the text field, second one is the path field. One is the text field, second one is the path field. Now the text and path, if you authored in the dialog, the data will be stored in the content node, and we will use the resource dot class. And here we will mention value map value, value map value. We can mention value map value, and then we can mention private. We can take the some string. The naming convention should be the same. Like here in our case, we have used some second text, right? Second text. So here in this case, what will happen? So by default, the behavior here is value map value is the annotation. It will inject the data. Whatever the data we have authored here, it will be inject. That behavior is by default behavior. Are you guys clear with my point? Whatever the data we have authored, the data will be stored in the content node, and that content, that data, that value will be injecting with the help of value map value. That behavior is by default behavior. Are you guys clear with my point? That behavior is default behavior. The data will be stored here. Okay, so we will use the getter methods, and we can return the values. Okay, this is in case this is will happen. This will be seen in the last session. Okay, now post construct. What is the purpose of post construct generally? So I will take the post construct is the annotation. Post construct. If you mention any method name, for example, normally you know already how to write the methods and all, right? So post construct, for example, here if I take the some method name, public method name is void, uh, return type method name is the init method, and here if I write any logic, so this method post construct method, no need to explicitly call on the, no need to call on the .html file, dot, no need to call explicitly .html file. Why? Because how this value map value will work, similarly at the rate post construct also it will work, meaning it will inject the whatever the logic you have written inside the post construct, that logic will be inject by default. Are you guys clear with my point? Whatever the logic, if you write the any logic inside the post construct method, okay, that logic will be execute by default. No need to call explicitly on the .html file. No need to call post construct method on the .html file. Okay, are you guys clear with my point? The same example I will show you in the practically, then you know we'll get the clarity on it. For example, okay, this one I will remove. So this is will deal with only post construct. Now you can get the clarity like value map value and post construct. So now I can take with at the rate post construct annotation, and here I will take the method. The method is, you can mention with access specifier as public and void, and you can mention with init method, and from here to here this is the scope of the init method. Now here what I will take some string message, I am taking some hello world, okay, hello world, and then I am declaring like this. Okay, I am declaring like this. For example, here what I will do, I will mention some string s equal to, so here I will pass some null values. Okay, so again This we are not importing this one. Okay, directly also can get the values. Now for returning the string value, what I will do, I will take the method. So simply can right click source action and generate getter methods. You are getting the get as, yes, return as. Are you guys clear with my point? String, this is has the default value. Okay, so this default value, we are injecting the value. We are injecting the value by using post constructor. Post constructor. However, the values are injecting in previous case by using the value map value. So similarly, here also we are injecting the value. So whenever you are defining any method by using the post construct, the values will be inject by default. The values will inject by default. Okay. So are you guys clear with this area? Yes, I have initialized with the string that is the hello world. So initially it has no value. I am initializing this as value by using this method. The method name is init method. Init method. When you any method you can declare with the post constructor. So the values, whatever the values you have passed inside the init method, the values will be injected by default. No need to mention explicitly on the HTML file. That is the by default behavior. That is the beauty of post construct method purpose. That is the beauty of post construct method. No need to mention, no need to specify explicitly. So if you mention by default behavior is, it can inject the values. It can inject the values. Okay, now the same thing. Now I can deploy this one and then we'll see the result, how it will work. I can go to my project demo. You can open command prompt. How you can use a full command. Terminal. Ah, yes, yes. So two ways you can deploy. So through the command prompt also you can deploy, and through the VS there in the VS Code we have the terminal. So there itself you can open this one. There you can get the terminal. So you can use the terminal also you can deploy. Otherwise, like this through the command prompt also you can deploy. Two ways you can deploy. Okay. So post constructor default behavior is, the beauty of post constructor annotation is it will inject the data by default. It will inject the data by default. So if you want to use this one, so no need to call that one. So simply can call this one, then you know you can get the data. You can get the data. So then I will show you that one. I can deploy and then I will show you. Generally today, what is our target? So our target is, for example, I will show you. This is the sites, right? Our bundle is deploying, so that's why this is not loading. Okay, yeah, I can go to CRST. I can go with my demo component as demo and components global. You can open global.html, global article, our component name. Okay, global article. Global article. Now we have the method, right? The method name is getS. Okay, if you call the getS method, then you can it will return null value, right? So for example, here I can mention with some div tag, or else directly can here I can mention with you can close the div tag. Okay, so inside what you will do, you can mention with uh, dollar and then model dot s. So generally here you can remember one more point also. Here you can two ways you can access. First way is you can directly you can use the getS also you can access, but getS is not recommended. If you use the getS also you can access the data. Okay, so that is not recommended approach. Model.s, and then I can save this one and simply I can go with my page. I can reload my page. I can go to my page. So if you see here, hello world is coming. Hello world is coming. So hello world, generally I have passed this message in the post constructor actually, init method. So init method, when I'm declaring, when I'm the method defined with at the rate post constructor, what it will do, the by default behavior is it will inject the data. It will inject the data by default. So no need to explicitly mention in the .html file. By default behavior of the post construct is it will inject the data. It will inject the data. Okay. Okay, fine. So now you can get the clarity on at the rate post construct annotation. Okay. Today actual what is our requirement is, for example, I will open sites. If I go with any VRetail, now if you observe here, for example, time-based masters, yes, and if you observe here, experience is the parent page. You can assume, okay, this is the parent for these all the child pages, right? These all the child pages. There we have the path, right? For example, if I go with the dialog, this is the component. If I configure the dialog, here we have the path, right? For example, if I give the any path, for example, VRetail, and if I select the any path, so this is the parent path. Under the parent path, we have the child pages, right? Child pages. These child pages I need to display. That is our requirement. Are you guys clear with my point? So if the parent page contains n number of pages also, I need to display all the child pages. That is actual our requirement. So that one I will explain initially through the MS Paint, and then we'll go with the programmatically. Then we'll get the some clarity on it. Okay. Okay, fine. So generally in the previous cases, what we did, we author the path and the path will be stored in the content node, and we can get the content node data, and we will use the value the annotation. It will inject the path actually. Okay, whatever the data it has stored in the content node, that it will inject the data. Okay, then we will use the getter method, and then we can return the value. Okay, this is the normal case actually. This is the normal scenario. But in the real time scenario, how we will do generally, we author the data will be stored in the content node, and so on the content node, whatever the data we have authored, we will perform some operations on the content node. So by using resource resolver, are you guys clear with my point? So now today's session also what we will do in the content path. In the content path, we will give some path actually. For example, if I author the content path like this content and a demo, if I author this path in the dialog, this path will be stored in the content node, and that variable name is some path or what might be the name might be anything, and it will be stored like this content and demo, content and demo. Now in previous case, this one we will directly display on the page. Today what we will do, we will we will resolve this path actually. How we will resolve meaning we will perform based on the requirement, we will perform more operations on this path. We will perform that processing and that performing some operations on the uh, content node, that is called resolver, resource resolver. Why I am calling resource resolver, meaning this is the resource, right? So the node is also called as resource resolver meaning again we are doing some operations on the resource resolver, that is called resource resolver, okay. Now the same thing, now instead of this second text we will inject the path. Why? Because here we have the path, right? We will inject this one, and now we can perform some operations on this path, okay. So how we will perform the operations generally, we can take the method, that is the init method. Inside the init method we will take the operations. So what kind of operations you can take, so I will tell you. Generally, resource resolver is also one method which is available in the sling http servlet request dot class actually. Are you guys clear with my point? Here we have the one is the resource dot class. This is the resource dot class, that is good. And we have the one more class, that is sling http servlet request dot class. If you want to use the request class or request object, at the time you can inject sling http servlet request dot class. Now I can include sling http servlet request dot class also. Okay. Okay, fine. In the init method, what I will do, so resource resolver, meaning this is the path, right? I need to process, I need to write some logic on this one. So for that purpose, I need to take the resource resolver. Resource resolver is the one method which is available in Sling HTTP servlet request dot class. Okay, this is also one predefined class. So class is nothing but combination of variables and methods. Resource resolver is the one method which is available in the Sling HTTP servlet request dot class. Okay. Now what I will do, and these are the I would say singleton classes, right? So these singleton classes meaning each class have the one object. Now this object is the requester. So inside the init method, what I will do, a request dot is the operator which is used to access the class members are available in the class, right? Which is used to access the class members. Request is the class, request is the object for which class, sling http servlet request dot class, okay. And then so in this object it contains might be lot of methods actually. Among those methods, I want as my requirement, I want resource resolver method. So simply what I will do, I can mention resource resolver. I can mention a resource resolver. Okay, I can mention resource resolver, and then this resource resolver, I can store in one variable, that is resolver, and this is step number one. And the second step is we have to take the resource, right? For taking the resource, we can mention a resolver dot resolver dot resource resource. So here we will pass this path here. Are you guys clear with my point? This path is already holding some value, right? This path is holding some value. The path is the values content demo. 1 second, guys. I will keep chatting. HP laptop charger. Okay. Now the path is this variable holding the value is content demo. Now this path we will pass here. Meaning I can mention with the path. I can mention with path. HP laptop charger. Okay, this is the resource, right? This is the resource. This we can call, generally we have the, this we can call either resource, either node. Okay, either resource, either node. Now, in our case, this is a resource. Okay, again, this we can store in the resource. Again, this we can store in the resource. So this resource is coming from resource class actually. This resource is coming from resource class. Okay, again, we can adopt the resource. Okay, this resource, again we will use the resource, generally resource dot adapt to. So what does it mean by dot adapt to? Generally these nodes also we have the types actually. I will show you the types. For example, if you go with the content node, if you observe here, this is one node, right? This node type is the CQ page. Okay, this is belonging to node and the type is page. And if I open some this is also page, and if I open the content, this is the normal node. Okay, normal node. So like this, generally node types we have the three generally. One is the page related node, and second one is I can mention with normal nodes, and the third one is the asset nodes. So assets is the different topic. Going forward we will discuss. These are the three types. Okay, so generally we have the nodes. Among those I want specifically page related nodes only. So clearly I will mention here adapter to page related nodes only. I need to adapt meaning inject page dot class. Okay, so this can I can store in the page. This I can store in the page. So as of now is clear. Yeah, as of now is clear. So this one is predefined class, right? This where the request is coming from. So this request is coming from Sling HTTP servlet request class. That is the predefined class, and predefined class has the only one object. So how you will use that predefined singleton classes object in the AEM? We should mention @sling object @sling object. So through that only you can inject. Normally in Java, how we will use the predefined classes, we will create the object, right? So in case of AEM, so already predefined objects will be there. We can use the predefined objects by using the @sling object. Very, very important topic. Okay, are you guys clear with my point? So we will use the predefined object by using the @sling object. Okay, so here I'm how will I inject predefined object? Generally private. Here I can mention Sling HTTP servlet request class, Sling HTTP servlet request class, servlet request class request, and this is the class name, and this class name object is the request. This class name object is the request. This is clear. This is clear what I did. So generally, in the previous cases, what we did, generally you have authored some content. The content will be stored in the content node, and simply we are reading the data. We are injecting data and we are displaying the data. Simple way. That is the simple way. Okay. Today, what we are doing is we are author the dialog and the data will be stored here. We are not displaying the same data directly. Okay, if you are directly displaying the same data, that is the normal approach generally. So again, we are resolving the data actually. So the data will be stored here, content node path. Again, we are resolving. So if you are resolving, meaning again we are performing some operations on the node, that is called resource resolver. Resource meaning node. Resolving meaning again we are performing some operations on the node actually. Okay. So today actually what my requirement is, so if you select any path actually, if you select any path, the path is called parent path. If any child pages are available under the parent path, for example, in my case, this is the demo, right? Under my demo, I have the one page that is the US page. So might be if I select any other path, okay, for example, in the VRetail, it will contain a lot of pages, right? In the VRetail, if I author any path, so I need to display all the pages actually. Whatever the pages are available under the parent path, I need to display all the pages. Okay, so how we will display normally, don't I would say that is the normal approach, right? Like authoring the data will be stored here, we are displaying the data, that is the last session. Today what we are doing, the path will be stored here, and again we are resolving, meaning again we are adding some predefined methods, and again we are doing some extra operation. So in real time scenarios, we will do operations like this only. That is called resource resolver. Generally, the resource resolver where it is available, resource resolver is the method which is available in predefined method, predefined class, that is Sling HTTP server request class. From that, we can get the resource resolver method, and we will write the some business logic. What kind of business logic we are writing? We are authoring. If I author any content, you should display some message. That is the business logic, right? That is the business logic. That business logic I am writing. So the skeleton is same. This is the predefined classes. I will inject the predefined classes. You can use the Sling object, and then you can inject the predefined objects. So in the core Java and advanced Java, we'll create the objects, and then you can utilize the predefined classes, right? In case of AEM, you can use the @Sling object, and then you can inject the object, and then you can reuse. So here also same way, you can give the path, and you can write the business logic actually. You can write the business logic. Okay, how we will do that? Write the business logic. We can use the predefined methods, and you can write the business logics actually. Okay, and here what I did generally, request is the object. Object contain multiple methods. Among those, I am using resource resolver. Why? Because if I author one path, that is the path, I need to perform some operations on that path, right? So that is called resolving. Resolving. So here I am giving the path, and so the path also, the node also might be multiple types. Based on the types, it can be action, it can be performed. So the page, the node might be the normal node, the node might be the asset node, the node might be the anything, right? So in my case, I would like to do the operations related to the page nodes only. That is the reason. That is the reason I can mention page.class. Page.class. As of now is clear. Now this is the init method. Here I will take one more method. That method is, for example, the method name is public. I will take the method name is get child pages. So the method name, my requirement is, if I author the parent path, so how many pages are available under the parent path? I need to display all the pages. That is the action, right? That is the work, right? So that is the reason I am giving the get child pages. child pages and method. From here to here, this is the scope of the method child pages, and inside this one I will write the logic. What kind of logic I will write? So page dot iterator. What does it mean by page dot iterator? Page dot iterator. Page dot iterator, right? So already you know what does it mean by iterator. What does it mean by iterator? What does it mean by iterator? Iterator is the method which is used to retrieve the values. Okay, retrieve the values. For example, if you contain some container and it is holding some values, if you want to retrieve the values one by one, then you can use the iterator method, right? We can use the iterator method. Okay, now here what I will mention. So here page dot list children. Okay, so under the pages, if is there any children pages, I need to get those pages. So that is the reason I will use the list children method. List children method. Okay, I can mention list children method. Okay, this list children method I can store in iterator object, and this iterator object data type is iterator, and this iterator object is page. Okay, page. And if it is we have the iterator, then you should use the while loop, right? You should use the while loop. So what it will do? What is the purpose of while loop? It will execute the statements until the condition is true. Until the condition is true. Now here what I will mention, iterator dot has next. What does it mean by as next? If it contain any pages, has meaning if it contains any pages, we need to display the pages. Okay, if it contain any pages, so inside the while loop, I will write one more logic. The logic is if it contain any pages, that pages should add one lister. So for that purpose, li dot add next dot next. Okay. So what we will do? If is there any pages, all the pages will be added to the list. So finally, here you can mention the data type is the list, and you can return the list data type is the, you can take the return statement, you can take the return statement and you can return the list. So this is the complete scenario. Okay, what I did generally, so I have taken the path and I have written some business logic. So not only taking the data and displaying the data, we are not doing the taking the data, reading the data, displaying the data. We are performing some operations by using the predefined methods, and then we are writing some business logic. So this is the way in the real-time scenario also we have to do. Are you guys clear with my point? So now I will go to the programmatic practical, and then I will show you. I will go to my Visual Studio now. Okay, now I will remove these all the things. Okay, the first thing is here you can include both. The second one is string HTTP. You can give some space. String HTTP server request data, which is basically belong to this one, first one. Okay, and then dot class. You can give those. Now fine. This is the basis skeleton already you know. Now, next what should I do? According to the MS Paint, I author the data. Okay, I have authored the data. Okay, simply I will go to the page, and then I will go to the this. If you see this one, some demo content demo. Okay, up to demo I am authoring. I have authored the data. Okay, I am click on it. Then what will happen? The data will be stored. This is the value, right? The value will be stored in the content node. Okay, so simply I will go to the content node. This is the content node. If I reload this one, are you guys following my words? Container, container, click on the global node. If I scroll up, if you see my path name is the variable name is the path, value is the content demo. Value is content demo. Okay, now we can again come to here, according to the diagram, author the dialog, value will be stored in the content node, and I need to inject. I need to inject. I need to inject. So how could I inject? How the what means? Yeah, sorry guys. Are you guys following my words? Now, authoring path will be stored here. That is the content node. That is what I am calling. That is the parent path actually. Okay, so my requirement is under the parent path, is there any child pages? I need to display on the page. That is actually my requirement. Okay, so for that purpose, I will write some business logic. I will write some business logic. The business logic for that purpose I am using at the rate post construct, that is the init method, and then again child pages. So as of now is clear. Through the MS Paint you can get the some clarity. Now I will show you practically. I can use the annotation uh, value map value. Okay, value map value, and then private string and the path. So how, why only I am taking the path? The variable name is the path. That is the reason I am taking the path. Is there any other name? It should take that name only. Here it should be the case sensitive. I have to follow the same naming conventions. So through that I can inject the value in my file. Okay. This is the entry point of the path actually. So for after this, so I can take the post construct method. I can take the post construct method, and inside the post construct method I can take the void init method. Init meaning initialization of the variables or methods, anything. Init meaning initialization. Okay, init method I am taking. Now what my requirement? So based on this, I no need to directly display. I need to perform some resolving. Okay, so for that purpose we have the method, that is the request method, right? This is the request method which is coming from the string HTL object. So if you want to inject the predefined objects, now here you should mention at the rate string object. String, you can mention string object. Okay, okay, private, private string HTTP servlet request dot class. Servlet request dot class, and the object name is the servlet request dot class. This is clear, guys. This is the predefined class actually. I am using the predefined class. How could I use the predefined classes? I should use the @string object. Okay. Now I can get the clarity request. Spelling is right. Okay. Dot, and these are the methods actually. In this object, it had these many methods. These many methods. Among those methods, I want get resource resolver. So I can mention get resource resolver, specifically resource resolver. Okay, this is the method. Okay, I'm getting that method, and then here I can mention the method. So I'm accessing that method. Again, the entire statement I'm storing in some variable that is called resolver. Okay, why it is throwing the error? Resolver is also one predefined one, so that is also we need to inject. So how could you inject? Sling object, and we can mention with private resource resolver actually. Resource resolver resource resolver these are the APIs actually. Resource resolver, we can inject this one, and this object is the resolver. This object is the resolver. Okay, these two are the predefined one. We are injecting the predefined ones. This is the basic skeleton for any program. Basic skeleton is this one. Okay, now the next thing is what I will do. Resolver dot. Next, my requirement is resource, right? I need to pass the resource. For that purpose, I can mention with resource. Yeah, get resource actually. You can select get resource, and whatever the resource. This is the input path, right? This is the input. That same input I am passing here. The same input I am passing here. Okay, fine. And this is the resource, right? That is the reason I am giving the name is resource. So this resource also it is throwing the error because the resource is also one predefined class. So that is the reason we need to import resource also. Okay. String object, string object. You can mention private resource equal to resource. Okay, this is clear. Now adapt to. So the now nodes also based on the type, we have the three types: normal node, page type nodes, and asset type node. So among those I want to specifically inject page related. For that purpose what I will do, resource dot adapt to method. If you see here, these many methods are available. Among those I'm choosing the, so in the real time scenarios might be the logic might be vary. So if the logic might be vary, you can utilize the other methods also. Okay, I'm using the adapt to method, and then here I will mention page related, meaning page dot. When I'm giving the page name, you should select CQ WCM API. This one you should select. Okay, dot class. Okay, then again you can store this one into the page. Okay, and again whenever we are writing the page, so it is also throwing the error. Why? Because the page is also have the predefined. So the predefined at the rate sling object, you can mention with private page equal to page equal to page. This predefined you can go with in net. You can check with global objects. You can mention with, you can look for the global objects in HTML. So there all the predefined classes you can verify here. For example, these are the predefined classes actually. Okay, page manager, reader, request. So if you see here, we are using this one, Sling HTTP request. Okay, and this is the variable name we have used, and resource reservoir we have used this one. Next resource. We have used these three. Okay. Next we have the page, right? Page. Somewhere the page is also available. String API dot current page. This is the page here. Okay. This is the page. So this is clear, right? This is the page, and you can save this one. Now I will write. I will take one more method, that is public. The return type should be the list, and my requirement is get child pages. Get child pages. Okay. Okay, fine. And this is the scope of the method. And now what I will do, page dot get a list children, actually can look for the list children. List children can take list children. What is the purpose of this one generally? So if the page contain any list children pages, so it will iterate, can iterate. This one we can store in the iterator IDR, and then again we can mention with iterator. Here you can mention with the data type is the page. The data type is the page. Okay, if here is there any child pages, it we are iterating by using the iterator. So already you know iterator method, right? Okay, fine. So if we have the iterator, then you can take the while loop, and inside the while loop itr dot has next. What does the purpose of has next meaning? It contain any pages. If it is okay, if it is contain any pages, then if it will find out any pages, then we can add the names that I can mention with list dot list dot add list dot can mention with dot. So here I will take the one list equal to string, a list equal to string, and then variable name and new array list. Okay, here I will take the new array list, and inside the here I will pass the generic, that is the string generic I can pass. That is the string generic I can pass. So we should import the statements. Click on the bulb symbol. You can import the packages that is belong to java.util package. Okay, and here also you can click on the bulb symbol. You can import the java.util package. Okay, now you can use the same list dot list dot list dot add, I guess. Uh, list dot add. Here you can give itr dot next, and then so this is the one object, and I want names actually. For example, there I want to names, get a name. Okay, the page names I want. Okay, the page names I want, and then this is the method, right? How to display the method, and then you can give the semicolon. Okay, so this is the logic I have written. So what will happen, if it will find out any pages, all the pages it will add it to one list. Okay, the pages will be stored in this variable. Okay, now finally we are returning the page names by using the return statement, return list, return list. So this is the business logic actually. Now I will deploy this one. Okay, I will deploy. You can go with can deploy and see our logic is working or not. Okay, okay, deployed our code successfully, and then you can move your page, EL page, and you can reload. So you can go with the CRXT, and then we can write some logic actually. Go your components and open your components. Demo project components. You can go with your component name is the global, right? And open .html. And this is the logic actually. This is the logic you need to write. Data as well list model dot child pages. So how you will write this one generally? So I will write one more time. So for example, SLY and data hyphen SLY hyphen I can mention with the list equal to. So here you can mention with the double quotation. Inside the double quotation, you can take the like dollar and then open curly braces and uh, open curly braces and then close curly braces and starting open close and then forward slash SL. Okay, and then inside you should write the logic that is model dot get child pages, right? So you can use directly get or else directly you can use child pages. So this is the case sensitive. You have to follow the same name convention. And then next thing is here you can mention dollar item. So I want to iterate all the items available in the this method. I want to iterate all the chain methods. Okay, I can save this one and then global article. Now simply I will go to the page. Now I can reload the page. Now I will author the page. Now I am getting US page, right? I am getting US page. For example, if I give any other path, for example, I go with some VRetail, I will go. VRetail, I will go. And then language masters, some English. If I click on some experience, this experience is containing multiple pages, right? If I select this one, now I'm getting all the pages in single line. Okay, I will mention the break statement. Here I will mention break statement. Okay, and then I will go here. If I reload my page, now I am getting all the page names, right? I'm getting all the page names. I want all the paths actually. where exactly the path, where the path is present. I want to, this is the one scenario. This is scenario number one. In the second scenario, this is the page names, right? Instead of getting the page names, I want page path section. How could I get? So simply the thing is, you can go to the backend code. You can go here. We can change here. Instead of get name, you can give the get paths actually. Then you can get the get paths actually. For example, you can mention with get path. You can select the get path. Okay, then you can get the all the page related paths actually. Okay, now you can save this one and you can do the deployment one more time. You can do the deployment one more time. So previous scenario number one is you can get the all page names. In this scenario number two, you can get the all the page paths actually. All the page paths. So we can order the path dynamically. Then based on the path, you can get the all the chain pages, chain page names, and all the chain paths actually. So in the real time scenario, we will write the business logic like this. So these three are predefined. So we are using the three predefined actually. One is the resource resolver. Second one is the string HTTP server request atlas. Third one is the resource, and fourth one is the page. So four predefined classes we have used. We have used four predefined classes. So this is the way in the real-time scenarios we will write the business logic. Okay, not taking and reading, not displaying the same content on the page. That is not the thing. So we will take the path and then we can, I would say, we can take the path and then we can. So we will delete the target file and then we can deploy one more time. So where the error is coming, custom header libs.html. Okay, okay, fine. You can delete this target file and then you can deploy one more time. The target file is available in. You can go with your project demo UI apps. The error is coming from UI apps. You can delete the target file. You can delete target file. You can delete target file. Inside this one, so we have to go like a lot of path, right? Footer or header? Okay, we will try one more time. Try one more time. We can go with here. Generally, if you get that error, you can delete the target and then you can try. But the target is not needed. So in that case, you have to come. You can close the AEM and then you can close the Visual Studio also, and then you can try. If not deleted any files, why? Because that might be open in IDs, right? So that is the reason it is telling it is open in some ID. Okay, if it is not deleted, you can try. So one will we will do one more time. So generally we made the changes on backend only. So come here again.
బయట ఉండాలి అందులో ఇంగ్లీష్ బయట పెట్టండి అది కట్టాలి వాటర్ పోస్తే మన హ్యాండ్ వాళ్ళు కట్టాలి సెలవులు కావచ్చు దూరం పోయి పని చేసుకోవాలన్నా దూరం బయట అయినాయి శ్రావణ మాసంలో ఎలా
Now, are you guys clear with I would say post construct and however we are injecting the values and however we are resolving the resources actually. Okay, so generally this is the thing.
చేసిన బాగా అన్ని హాస్పిటల్లో జాయిన్ చేసి అట్లా చేసినా ఇంత కాకపోతుంది
ఇక నెక్కించుకొస్తే నాకు పిలవాలి లేకుండా బాగా వదిలి ఉంటుంది టీచర్ బాగా హైట్ ఉంటాడు ఇట్లా పట్టుకొని ఆయన వేరే అంతా వేసేది వేసిండు ఆయన చూసుకుంటే ఏం కలుగుతుంది నేనే చాలా మంది పడతారు అట్లా ఈయన పడ్డాక కూడా ఇంకొక మూల మీద అంతే అప్పుడు ఇల్లు సాగు ఉంటుంది కదా అసలు ఏం అర్థం కాదు.
Also guys, we have one more announcement.
అంటే
వేలుకలు వచ్చిన అమ్మ చెప్తుంది
పిల్లగాడు ఉన్నాడా ఆయన 10 రోజులు అవుతుంది అంటే అబ్బాయి లేకుండా ఏం కాదు మళ్ళీ మనకు ఇట్లా ఉండాలంటారు కదా
సాక్ష్యం ఉండాలి అవునంటే మనము వీడియో అది కూడా ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయవచ్చు
ఇప్పుడు అవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కదా అప్పటి రోజులు అంటే మేము
Now assignment also you can one is page name, second one with page path. Page path. So you can get the node property and whatever the methods are available there. So you can achieve all the things, node properties, all the things. Okay. Now you can go to the page. You can reload the page. Go down. Now if you observe here, we are getting the paths, right? We are getting the paths. So anything, if you give the path dynamically, you can get the actually, for example, anything you can give the paths dynamically, then you can get the thing actually. For example, under the main experience, here also under the products, some go with the main. Again, it is having some again. There are a lot of things. Say select this one. I can get all the pages paths. I can get all the page paths. Okay, so this is the thing actually. Here you can mention break statement. Okay. Reload the code. Now you can get all the pages. Now you can get all the pages. So this is the task. You can try with page names and second one is the page paths. Okay. So that's it today.
మీరు ఏంటంటే పోవాలి